in here. Ugh. Now then, if this tripod snaps now, because it has been trouble. Right. There. I think we're okay. If the camera drops in about 5 seconds, I apologise. Let me just double check. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hi guys. Oh, some people have found us. I just tried to tell. Yeah, I've told you on the other chat.
Well, that ruins my. I was first in the chat for the previous video.
Oh, I should have kept that chat up so we could have said hello to people in that chat because there was bants. Can't now.
Yeah. Well, hello, we're here, and we apologise for the dodgy start. Chris isn't here today because of the storm. It's Storm Isha, is it?
I don't know what it's called, but it's 90-mile-an-hour winds on the M1, and he didn't want to risk it.
Yes, because you know we do all live in the same house, but he popped out for some chicken, and
to visit his wife.
But he got caught out in the storm, so he's not made it back. So it's just going to be us today. Bonnie's watching upstairs. Chris might be somewhere in the chat. He'll be rolling his eyes because we've messed up the orientation. I think I know what it is now. But we'll probably get it wrong again next time.
I think it's when you actually schedule it, you need to do it, I think.
Yes, I think so, yeah.
As opposed to when we turn it on. Hey there, hi there, hello there, Disney fans, and welcome to another Disneyland Paris Show. We're going to vamp a bit before we do anything that's got any real beef to it, because some of you will still be making your way over and finding us. We're seeing some hellos.
We've got 21 people here, so
that sounds
that's
okay.
A good start, isn't
That's
it?
That's good.
Yeah.
So is that time to do some... should we bong for news, or should we do who's in the chat first? We usually bong for news.
Let's bong for news. Right. I've got a sound effect for that. Are you ready? Have you got the news up?
Am I ever?
Right, here we go.
Who's first?
Right.
Plaque attack.
Snow joke.
Stop being cool.
Oh, there's more. Magic in your pocket.
Almost open.
Is that it? Right.
Yeah.
We're done. Do you know what?
Good work, everybody.
I've said before, we're like the Millennium Falcon. You know, we've got bits falling off and we're a mess, but that's part of the charm, isn't it?
We've got it where it counts, kid.
Yeah.
Got it where it counts.
Bonnie's watching upstairs. This isn't how it's done. Try and be more professional in your endeavours.
No. Have the ability to adjust and adapt when things go wrong.
If things go wrong, it's fine and it's charming. People love it.
John Parker says never change, guys. Don't worry. We never will. That's the sad truth.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yay.
People here,
so that's
a good start, isn't it? Yeah, we sound good. Right. Should we do a bit of news then?
Yeah. Well, no. Let's see who's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Because they'll get too many if we leave it too long.
Before it gets away. Okay, then. All aboard, please. Well, first in this chat, because we're ignoring the other one now, don't count anymore, was Emma. First in the new chat, question mark. Yes, Emma. And you should be proud. Hello to Gareth Pierce and Cheryl, found you. Yes, sorry. We like a little game of hide and seek.
Yeah.
Hello to John, sings Topsy Turvy from Hunchback. Hi to Faye and Charlotte and Katia and Jimmy Clements with a pink hand, and Kiva is here, as is Bonnie, under Lucy's name. What, you just watching a video?
Oh, I see, advert.
Hello to Lisa, and also we've got Union Tavern Darts Team.
Very good.
Who say, hi guys, new here after finding your video this afternoon. Planning my trip for the first time in September. Family of 4. I thought this said family of 42 kids. 3 and 5. But it says family of 4, 2 kids, 3 and 5.
That is the perfect age to take your children for the first time. And I'm so excited for you. And let's see if we can talk some fun Disney. We're usually a bit slicker than this.
Are we though?
Union Tavern Darts
Are
team.
we? Are we?
A bit. I mean, this was particularly ropey today.
Have you guys stayed at Davy Crockett Ranch?
Yes, we have.
Did in Christmas 2017. and it was nice.
Should we talk about that in due course?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Hello to Moritz. Hello, everyone listening to you from, get this, Lucy,
Oh.
Art of Animation Resort. Just got back from our Keys to the Kingdom tour,
Oh.
which was emoji with love heart eyes.
See, the thing is, I love a guided tour. Any city in the world where I always want to go on a guided tour. But you don't like conforming that much, do you? You don't like being shepherded around and told where to stand. So I think it might be
On
something...
a tour? I don't mind a tour.
Keys to the Kingdom tour, would you do that?
Maybe. It'd be interesting.
Good, because I want to do it one day. I want to do that one day.
I mean, probably costs a bit, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. But we're going to be rich, you forget about this.
Yeah, we will be in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to manifest it. Like when Jim Carrey asked for a shiny red bike and he got one.
When was that?
He saw this red bike in a shop window and he asked the universe for it. And his parents got it for him like a few days later. Manifested it.
I'm manifesting a giant belch right now, so just excuse me.
Oh, God. I'll try and talk over it. Hello also to Andrew and Emily, who Emily says Hugh was first in the old chat, which is very noble of you to say, Emily. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mark with a Q is here. Hi, Mark. Long time no see. And Jenny, yay for live for once. Still writing. Sorry, I'll start that again. Yay, live for once. Still writing Christmas trip report. Won't be long. Well, we'll be here when it's done. And preferably the right orientation.
Before next Christmas, please.
And Sam says, quite simply, I'm here. Hi, Sam. So close for first in the chat, Hugh. I know I was, yeah. Union Tavern Darts team say, I went to Florida in 2015 with my brother and his family and absolutely loved it. The wife has never been Disney, so really excited to see her reaction to DLP.
Oh, wow, wow. When are you going?
And hello
When
to
are you
Louise. Louise, that rounds off everyone in the chat.
Just let Union Dance Team tell us when he's going, because you experience, because right now, this is going to be... Let's get on to some news.
Yes. Well, I'll just add, Lisa says, finally caught my first live, sort of. I'm working, so I can't actually watch.
Okay.
I'm from Prince Edward Island, Canada, and I'm going to DLP for the first time at the end of February. Can't wait.
Is my map under here and you won't want me to lift it up?
Don't touch that, whatever you
Oh, King Edward Island, Cavender has to be... Cavender. Canada. King Edward Island, Canada, needs to be scratched off the map.
We don't
Thank
have
you
Canada
so
on the
much.
list, so I'll add that. Someone added Spain as well to the list. We've got plenty to scratch off. If you don't know what we're talking about, we've got a map and we're scratching off week by week who's listening from where. But we're not today because it's under a sheet with a small world pattern on it and we don't want to touch it. We daren't touch it because it will all fall down. This plant is hanging on for dear life.
Union Tavern Darts Team. Now that I know they're a family of 4 with kids 3 and 5,
3 and 5.
I really like to think that
Family of 42.
they are the darts team. Like the 4 of them, they're the darts team. So you've got like some savant kids, like 3-year-olds who can get a bullseye from with one eye covered.
I hope that's the family catchphrase. Like whenever someone gets something right or something goes exactly as planned, they all go bullseye.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Triple 20.
It's just good times in the Union Tavern Darts team family.
The Union Tavern Darts team are going on the 30th of September for 5 nights. That is a good choice. I think you've still got a reasonable chance of good weather on the 30th of September. I went on like the 24th or 25th of September or something when I did Run Disney, and it was pleasant, not baking, because we've had some 34-degree days in the middle of August.
It's always hot when we go in summer. Always hot, hot, hot.
But the September's quite pleasant, and it's lowish season at that time. We've been through this, that there is no low season anymore, haven't we? Low season is gone.
Yeah.
But it's lower than high season, shall we say. So that is a very good choice. But I ask that because it's a very different experience to this week. Because what's going on this week, Huey? What's in the news? It's no joke, man.
Snow?
Yeah, and ice.
Snow and ice.
And frost. Elsa has indeed visited Disneyland Paris this week and will probably be staying in residence for the foreseeable future because Paris is a place that does get very cold in the winter. But it was so cold that there was sheet ice on the ground and they had to cordon off certain sections of the park. The Plaza Garden fountain was completely frozen. It often freezes, does that, but in this case it was like inches of thick ice. Let me get my notes back. They also had to cordon off that area in front of the castle where photos are taken because the fountains splash up, and I think it had literally just created a layer of ice on that area. Similar situation going on in the centre of Avengers Campus in front of Flight Force, and the side of Discoveryland as you come in. Again, it tends to be where the splashing water features. And yeah, the Plaza Fountain. We've had a little bit of actual snow, although not tons, it has to be said. It's mainly been frost and ice. So take care if you're going. If you're going in the next month, I would say take those hot hand breaking things that you can get in outdoor shops. Put them in your pockets.
That look like tea bags.
They're an absolute lifesaver. And just dress in lots of layers. Lots and lots of layers. And feet. Think about your feet. I'm very concerned about people's feet, Hugh, in weather like this. It's miserable.
Well, you're a cold foot person.
Where's walking? If somebody's going soon, January, and they get really cold, where do they go?
Where do they go?
Yeah. Do we have any advice for them? Because I'll tell you what mine is. I've got a really fond memory inside. I've got really fond memories of Chateau de la Marionnette when we went at Christmas. Because we've been outside waiting for the carousel for blooming ages, and I'd had a little bit of a conchton with a Spanish woman.
Well, a kind of a bratwurst hot dog thing is a bratwurst curried hot dog. It's what you want at Christmas.
Feels very wintry. And the
German
other
market
thing
style.
is boozy hot chocolates in the Sequoia Lodge bar.
Yeah.
Highly recommend both those things if you're going in the recent times. Let's see, what else have we got in the news? Do you want me to do more news?
I was just going to say, Chris says, sorry I'm not there. Ducked out as I didn't fancy driving on the motorway in this wind as I make my way from my wing to the rains. So that's the second lie we've told about our living arrangement in this pretense that we all live at 37 Disney Street. Which we do. We all live together. Mark with a Q, I did actually look on the old chat and he said, it wants to go horizontal. That's very helpful, Mark.
Yeah.
I love hearted his comment. So, what are you going to say? More news?
Well, I was just checking how we're in the chat, or do you want me to go on for more news?
Ross says, late to the chat, but heading to DLP on Thursday.
This Thursday?
It does feel like every time we do a show.
I just said then.
Every time we do a show now, everyone's going.
Do you know what's happening on Thursday, though?
No.
The Disneyland Hotel's only opening.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know?
Yes.
That's this.
Yes.
Thursday's the 25th, isn't it? It's opening on the 25th. Yay! We still haven't been invited with our press passes, more the problem. Maybe when we figure out how to go horizontal on a live stream, they'll start taking us more seriously.
And only then. Emma says the bar in Sequoia is a good bet in cold weather.
It's my favourite place to be. In fact, I'm thinking about it right now because we can hear howling winds out of our window at the moment. And I'm thinking, I would love to be there. We got a charcuterie board last time, didn't we?
Yeah, and I didn't have much off it, so it was kind of a waste of money for me.
Yeah, I think you like the idea, but not practicality. I love a bit of finger meat.
What an extraordinary sentence. When a charcuterie board turns up and you look at it, and then you decide in that moment whether or not you've wasted your money. And I had wasted my money because I thought, I'm not going to want much of this.
It's when they put the extras on with the olives and the rocket and the bits just to make the board look pretty. And you're like, get it all off. Meat and cheese and a bit of bread is what we want.
Hyperion, says Faye. We got back a few days ago. We were lucky and managed to miss out most of the cold weather. Had a wonderful time. So Hyperion, is that a recommendation for somewhere warm?
Oh, yeah. We like to go in there towards the end of the day when it's quite quiet and just zonk out and watch cartoons. You know when you've been Disneyed out and you're in a staring mood.
It's one of those people that people slag off for like it's just like they serve like McDonald's food and
Yeah.
But you know sometimes
they do.
Sometimes that's what you want. Yeah. And you want to sit and you want to watch some Mickey shorts.
You want a bad burger, don't you, Hugh?
I want a wet bad burger. A wet bad burger. I still need to make that T-shirt. Bad Burger Club.
So, it is true. The hotel is opening this Thursday. They've had the soft opening for cast members. Now, I know what that means when they do rides. They literally just invite the cast members and then the annual pass holders to ride the ride. But when it's a hotel, are they inviting them to just wander around and use the bars? Or they're having cast members stay overnight? I don't know. But they've had a soft opening for cast members, but they've limited where they're allowed to take photos. They've limited it to the main foyer, and they've been pointing them towards the big fireplace. So there have been some more photos released, all looking gorgeous. Do you know what I did? Because I'm clever. I screenshot a load of things for today, but it's on my phone and we're using my phone for that, so I can't.
Not going to happen.
No, I know.
Just imagine it.
Oh, it's a shame. So yeah, next week there's going to be loads of chat about that new hotel. Is there anybody in the chat now who is going to be staying there?
Is there anybody in the hotel now? No, that's not possible. Not possible. But
in the chat,
any workmen
staying there opening weekend?
Electricians? There's a question from the darts team about PhotoPass. Is PhotoPass worth it? Kiva says, what?
Go on.
I'm a big PhotoPass fan. The only people who say they don't get their money's worth don't bother wandering around looking for the rides with PhotoPass and characters / magic shots. You got to make it work.
Yeah, that sums it up. It's you've got to, if you've got PhotoPass, on the occasions that we have had PhotoPass, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. I'm very much of the mindset of, we've got this PhotoPass, we're going to have some photos taken. And so we seek out characters that have got PhotoPass photographers, which isn't all of them. We seek out rides that have got it. We make sure that we are getting our money's worth. However, and Chris is a big believer in it.
He believes.
He believes in it. He loves PhotoPass. If you're going to see someone like Darth Vader, they've got a PhotoPass photographer there, and those are really good photographs.
Yeah.
However, Disneyland Paris doesn't always have roaming photographers. What I mean by that is in Florida, they have them in front of the castle, they have them in front of Big Thunder Mountain, they have them just on the corner on a bridge, all over
They make
place.
up about 5% of the capacity.
Yeah, they do. But you can just get, I mean, we come back from Florida with, when I say 400 photos, I'm not kidding. Because like me and Bonnie will just stop at every single photo.
Well, that's the thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't get it at all. I wouldn't pay for it separately. We've had it included as part of packages and things, but I personally don't. I'm not interested in it. Just as another opinion. But I'm a bit of a photographer, so I'd rather take my own pictures.
Yeah, they're not the most artistic things either, but they are worth it sometimes. With the meet and greets, you can hand your camera to a cast member and they will take photos. So jury's out a bit. We've done it both ways and you can make it worth it, but I don't think it's a necessity. This is going to be a personal thing now. I bet there's loads of people in the chat who say it's one way or the other. And if you're not watching live, put it in the comments down below as well. Do you like PhotoPass? Do you think it's worth it? Do you make it worth it? Have you ever bought it and then thought it wasn't worth it? Let us know. You can buy it, I was going to say posthumously, but that's a terrible phrase. But you can
retrospectively. Retroactively.
You can have a PhotoPass photographer take your picture and they'll give you a little disposable card that you can keep in your wallet, and then you can keep having things put on it. And then at the end of it, you can choose to buy the PhotoPass off that card, I think. So you can actually get the photos first. You might want to check that with the cast members in the park, but I believe that that's a possibility. Okay.
Bonnie says the wind's trying to come to watch the live stream and let the wind watch.
Is it? She's bonkers.
Hashtag let the wind watch. Max says, don't worry about not getting the press invite. It will happen later in February, and the few influencers invited will not even be housed in the Disneyland Hotel, but next door in Art of Marvel.
Well, I feel like that's a win for win, that. Because we haven't stayed at Art of Marvel either since it's reopened.
No.
So if we get to stay in the Art of Marvel and visit the Disneyland Paris Hotel, I would be happy with that. Disneyland Park Hotel. Disneyland Hotel, isn't it? That's all it's called.
Jenny says, actually, the heroic encounter photos were brilliant, but it was €15 to download the 360 shot or that thing, right?
Yeah, it's even extra for that.
Yeah, the 3D, the Matrix bullet time picture.
Which is it's a bit of a swizz. Because we've had some really good ones at Florida included in our pass that have got like, they've got that top of the world one, you know, where they kind of do a 360 and it looks like a dome, like you're standing on top.
Yeah, it looks like you stood on the world, and
Yeah.
the world is Epcot.
They've got the hyper zoom ones in Galaxy's Edge.
We got one of those, but how did we get one of those? We didn't pay for it, did we?
No, you don't. It's included in First Pass in Florida.
Right.
But not in Paris.
Because I used it on one of my at the start of one of my videos. Yeah.
Right.
News.
More news. Okay. So Disney Twitter have done that thing Disney Twitter like to do where they've got disproportionately upset / excited about something.
They don't do that, do they?
On the regular, Hugh, on the regular. So they've put a new mosaic plaque down in the courtyard before you get to the train station. That's not called Town Square. I can't think what it's called.
Don't know. The first bit, I call it.
Okay.
Just as you go through the turnstiles.
Yes. So immediately in front of the station, I'm just seeing if it's transferred onto this iPad so I can show it if possible. 1 second, just vamp. It might just be downloading.
We got a new old iPad.
We see EX'd a new iPad.
Yeah, so it's just trying to download photographs for that.
Ah, magic. No, it has done.
As well as a picture that, like, just hold that picture up. Lucy hasn't seen this before, this famous meme of, you know, the kid who's kind of like doing the laughing face.
But doesn't it look like baby Hugh?
Do you know what? I've thought that before.
It does, and if you've ever seen a picture of Hugh as a child...
I didn't realise till recently the face of that is off another person. Anyway.
So this is what you used to have, right?
Describe it for the listeners.
It's like a...
Get closer as well, because it's... there we go.
Okay. So it's kind of a brass inlay into the ground, into granite, and it's got entwined initials of EDRR, which stands for Euro Disney Railroad. And it's quite kind of Victorian and classy. I'm going to be honest. Must have walked over that.
I've never seen it.
Dozens and dozens of times in my life, and I can't remember it.
That's the beauty of the place, though. Like, if you, like, walked around and stopped every 2 feet and, like, scrutinised everywhere, you'd find something like that. But there's so much of it that you often don't see this stuff. But what have they done?
Well, can you just chat for a minute while I find it?
Yeah. Have you ever wondered why, when you're feeling a little down, I'm running out of things to say.
Okay.
No, I'll look at the chat. Emily says, I'm putting my phone on charge now.
Here we go.
So there you go. A little bit of action in the chat there.
Right, I'm getting this off directly off Twitter, I'm afraid.
Mark Riley describes it as the perineum between DLH and the Disneyland Railroad.
So this is directly off Twitter, and I've got it off DLP report.
The Filtrum.
Because, like I say, new iPad, so I don't have all my stuff gone down. But that is the new mosaic thing that you've got. What you've got there is kind of, it's hard to call it mosaics, it's not tiny tiles, but it's inlaid granite of the castle.
DLP report Twitter you're looking at there.
Castle made out of granite with brass round it and some paving stones and so on and so forth. Well, believe it or not, Disney Twitter lost its mind about that.
I think it's nice.
Well, yeah. Here's the reason.
Very nice.
I'd like to know your thoughts. Someone pointed out it ruins the order of events originally conceived by the Imagineers.
Right.
And that is that you see the hotel, then you see the train station, then you see the bandstand, and then you get the reveal of the castle. And putting that on the floor before the train station ruins the reveal of the castle.
Does it?
Other people just think it's plain ugly. Other people don't like to see the old thing go. And a lot of people say, I really like it. Now, all this is fine, but I spent half an hour trawling through this today, and what amazes me is the vitriol. Like, the actual swear words being used about this. And I think we've lost the ability to go, they've decided to do that. And just kind of accept it and enjoy it.
I'm not, I'm one who often does get annoyed by changes, like updates like this. I think, oh no, I preferred the old one. It was a timeless classic. I think this looks quite nice. Like I say, I hadn't noticed the old one. I do agree with the this order of events thing, like, you know, the Hatbox Ghost being placed at a point where the ghosts haven't actually turned up in Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion? Yeah. And that kind of like goes against what the Imagineers have envisioned. But I don't see how...
A picture of the castle.
A picture of the castle, like, in granite on the floor really ruins the castle reveal. Like,
I don't think anyone arrives at Disneyland Paris not knowing there's going to be a castle.
Like, are there no other pictures of castles anywhere before you see the actual castle? I don't think it takes away from the actual castle. You're not going to go, oh, well, there's a lovely pink castle there set in some hills and some square trees. But we just saw it on the ground back there. I'm not interested anymore. I don't buy that.
Jim Shull, who is an ex-Imagineer, so he no longer works for the Disney company, but he is very active in doing like podcasts and he makes a lot of content. He pointed out that this probably looks best from looking downwards from the bar in the Disneyland Hotel. And he said, so it's probably, you know, it's probably a new feature for that purpose because that opens this week, because this has been revealed this week. So he's kind of thinking the way that management would think. So it's really not for the people walking over it. It's for the impact of that view. And I presume that view would take in the castle as well, if you're at that bar. So interesting.
Good for them.
But I think it's quite nice. Like I say, never really noticed the old one. I do appreciate the old one now I know it was there, because I'm like, oh yeah, bit of Disney history. However, like Walt always said, it's not a museum. It evolves.
Tanya, Lucy says, I think it's Tanya. There's a J in there. Let me know if I'm wrong. Says, I love your tips videos and videos on the pack. Did you ever get around to doing a best versus worst queue in DLP?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a good one.
That's a really good one. Did I say I was going to do that? I probably said I was going to do that in one of the videos and then never did.
Right.
I'll add it to the list.
We could at least discuss it on the show.
We could.
So, Chris, get your list together of best and worst. I'll make a note of that. What else we got?
Oh, there's loads going on. I can't even catch up. I'm going to do some more news and you find some, because there's a lot of chat going on in the chat. Right, stop being cool. The cool stop.
I can't. It's just, you know.
I know. I tell you all the time and it just keeps coming back.
Just what I am.
Yeah. Cool stop in Disney Village is being demolished. This is, I believe it's outside Annette's, and it is kind of a quick service. It's a step above a kiosk, but it's not, it is a booth, but it's got seating outside of it, and it does the kind of burger and chips and stuff like that. Well, that's been completely demolished. No announcement what's replacing it, if anything's replacing it. No announcement why, but we do know that they've got this 2-year-long renovation of the... I'm sorry, our French window sounded like they were about to...
Ooh, our French window!
Sounded like it was about to get blown in, but it hasn't. You'll be glad to know. So yeah, no talk about what's replacing it, if anything, or if they just want the space to do other things. But we know that there's this 2-year renovation going on in the Disney Village. Not much going on in that area then, because we've lost Planet Hollywood. Still want it to be the Death Star, Dunt family. And we've lost Cool Stop. But we have started to get things at the other end. We've got Rosalie now, haven't we? And yeah. Watch this space, Disney fans. Right.
What?
What's going on in the twat? Chat.
Let's just skip past the fact that you dropped a T-bomb. What is your opinion on meal plans? Says Tanya. I heard a lot of people saying they were worth it, but I find it hard to believe. Well,
okay, you pretty much break even. It's a lot easier to break even at Disneyland Paris because so much of it is Prix Fix menus, so you know what you're spending. If you're not in a Prix Fix, you kind of have to like get the most expensive item, like a steak.
What's Prix Fix?
Fixed price.
Prix Fix. Oh, okay.
It's like me saying croissant. Prix Fix.
How do Americans say croissant? They say croissant.
Croissant, yeah.
Croissant.
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 Or as the guy in Mickey Short says, Croissant.
Croissant.
That's how he says it in Mickey Shorts.
I can hear Bonnie doing that upstairs right now, or I can imagine I can hear her. She loves that bit.
Croissant.
Yeah, because there's so many fixed price menus, it's quite easy to kind of go, that's how much we're spending, boom. However, you do have to eat a sit down, a quick serve. You have to eat it all, and it's quite a lot. Now, the thing is that we don't eat that much when we go. We don't have, if we're going for 5 days, we don't have 5 big sit downs, and I can't remember. And they've changed them since came back from COVID, and we haven't had them since COVID. So I can't remember exactly what's included in the different tiers now.
We've only done it like once, haven't we?
Yeah.
We did a half board.
Half board one. You do get your money's worth, and you are able to pay extra if you go to a restaurant that's out of your tier. For example, if you've only got the mid-tier one and you want to go to a Auberge de Cendrillon, which is top tier, you just play a bit of a top up, so it works well like that. But you don't save anything. I don't think it's worth it to save anything. It just, and you prefer this when we go to Florida,
well,
just makes it easier.
It's convenient. It takes it, it takes the
budgeting.
It takes it out of your hand. But more so now, it's like it's just not worth it. You'd have to get like
in Florida, it's not worth it.
You'd have to eat all. You'd have to eat. You'd have to go for a sit-down meal every meal, and you have to get the most expensive thing to make it worthwhile. And it's not for us, really. Sometimes you just want to grab a quick snacky thing, don't you? So. Yeah.
And then if you fill up on that and don't feel like your dinner later on, you've kind of lost the value a bit.
We got it included a few years, like the first time we went, didn't we?
Oh, if you get it included, it's
amazing.
an absolute steal.
Amazing.
And there is something about turning up for your holiday at the airport or whatever, thinking, all the spending money I've brought is for me and souvenirs, rather than trying to budget the week with food.
Because again, talking about Florida more than DLP, but to a certain extent, DLP, you do forget, like when you go, you've paid for your flights or your travel and your hotel and all this, and when you get there, the cost of the food just keeps adding on. You can do it relatively cheaply if you know.
We found that you had $400 in your bedside table. That didn't
$200 and $200 on Revolut.
Yeah, and we were like, oh yay, that's like 4 days food, and then we both went silent a bit, and then went.
It's like 2 days.
No, 2 days food
in Florida. Yeah.
But Union Tavern Darts team says, can you take your own grub into the park? You're not allowed to take cool boxes, and that is a rule. And you're not allowed to take ice. I don't know who's taking loose ice in the cool boxes, but you're not allowed to do that. So that kind of limits you to taking actual picnic bags. They won't like that. However, anything that can fit in your regular park bag, even like a Tupperware of sandwiches, you can probably get away with. But certainly like snacks and crisps and stuff are fine.
They can't stop you because they'd have to be policing people who are on special diets or anything like that. So like...
They just don't want you taking actual picnic...
Baby food,
Yeah.
At what point did they go, oh, you said that's baby food, but I reckon you're going to be eating those crisps as well. Those carrot, those carrot puff crisps that you get. I used to like those, but they're actually for Bonnie, but I would eat them too. So, you know what I mean? There's so many grey areas with like who's eating what that they just have to go, yeah, all right.
But what you can't do is take a designated cool box in and full picnic equipment and then set up on one of the grassy areas and eat. You can't get it through security, and B, you'll get moved on.
Yeah.
But if you can fit it in your rucksack and eat it sat on a bench, you can,
Don't take the mick.
And people are saying fruit, cereal bars, wrapped sandwiches, snacks, water, all that kind of thing is
People
good.
being Mac.
And most people, I won't say most people, a lot of people will have the hotel breakfast and wrap up the odd pastry. Do you think?
I've taken a pan au chocolat with me in my pocket. I'm not going to lie.
Make yourself a little sandwich out of the bread and ham.
But again, don't take the mick. Don't be like sweeping entire like areas of the buffet into your tote bag and then
into cargo pants.
Going into the park. Mostly because even though it's a good money saving tip, it's so grubby.
It is. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
I know, times are hard, but there's no need for that.
No. That's like Ross trying to get his money's worth out of the hotel room.
Yeah, taking the controls, no, but taking the batteries, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Don't take batteries.
No.
That wasn't a recommendation to do that. That was friends and they were being silly.
Okay. The next thing, right. So if you go to the...
Oh, sorry. Just Emma says, lots of hotels aren't allowing people to bring bags into breakfast now. Is this just
to stop them stealing
generally?
food.
Generally. Oh, you're talking about Disney here. Yeah, I wouldn't blame them, to be honest. It's not what that's for, is it? It's not to go there to load up on your lunch. It's to have your breakfast, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, grab an apple to take with you as your breakfast pudding.
Yeah. I tell you what, I feel bad
the mick.
because I started this. What tends to happen is we load up a plate and then we don't finish that plate, in which case that would either get in the bin or taken. And if there's still pain au chocolat on the plate, that goes into the parks with us. That's fair, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can't put it back.
No.
Yeah.
That's my thinking. Right, I have to concentrate for this one. If you go to the Disneyland Paris app, there is now a facility for guest check-ins at the hotel. However, this won't go live till January 25th, which is Thursday. A lot's happening on Thursday, isn't there?
We're so behind.
So you can do mobile check-in
at DLP
and Digital MagicPass. However, you'd still need your physical Magic Passes, which will be given at the hotel, to unlock your room. The mobile key feature, which will be available at Disneyland Hotel and Hotel New York, has been delayed in rollout. So it sounds like in Florida, you can open your hotel room with your phone.
Mm-hmm.
So the 5 years...
Well, like a big key. Just put it in like a mobile phone shaped hole and twist it.
Yeah, it's like a letterbox.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good. There's things about this. Is the more we use our phone for, the more your battery runs out. People do moan about this. And people also moan about having to have the phone in and out of the pocket all the time when they're meant to be on holiday. But at the end of the day, it is convenient. It's modern technology. It saves all the problems with the lost room keys and all that kind of thing that Disney has constantly. So I think it can only be a good thing. If you can opt out, it's an even better thing. And they must give you the option of opting out if it just doesn't work for you.
Thing is, when they introduce something like this, like mobile check-in, it's so behind compared to other parks that I'm surprised and I go, oh, we don't already do that. You forget like how late to the party we are with some of these really obvious things. What was it until recently we couldn't do, and we just couldn't... Was it ordering food on your phone?
Oh, yeah, mobile order.
That's coming in like the last 2 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, they announce it like this big wonderful thing and we all go, yeah, you should already be able to do that. Anyway, they're catching up. It's the French. They like to just go a little bit more leisurely pace.
Careful with that.
It's a compliment.
Is it?
They're all chilled out and cool.
All right, okay. Nice save.
Yeah. I think that's all she wrote. That's all the
news.
So, let's talk... Oh, I want to talk about this. We've been talking for ages about starting a Disney crochet circle. And so it was decided that what we would do is we would start
crocheting some circles.
Start a thing where people crochet granny squares to make crochet blankets. And we would do them Disney themed. Now, hang on. This is a granny square. That's just one I'd already done for some...
Listeners, Lucy's holding up a patterned square that she's crocheted.
So this, I just did for a blanket for one of Bonnie's toys. So I just brought it down to show you what a granny square is. But we want you to do them Disney themes. So last night and this morning, I sat, and I'm rather proud of this. So I want some oohs. I sat and I crocheted that. Now that is, for listeners, Hugh, audio description.
It's a green square with a Mike Wazowski big eye in the middle of it.
So we want you to crochet granny squares that are 15 centimetres by 15 centimetres or as close as you can get it. I'm rubbish at doing that because it's all to do with tension and hooks and how fat your wool is and stuff like that. But into any Disney theme you like. Now, if you don't want to do anything that's sort of patterned, literal interpretation like that, you can just do something like this, but maybe do it in like Red, yellow, and blue would be Snow White, wouldn't it? Or if you did it in like pink and
A
purple.
Disney bounding square.
Yeah, Disney bounding squares. It could be Rapunzel, that kind of thing. So you're doing a granny square that can be sewn into a blanket, and then we're going to have a giant Disney blanket, and we are going to, we've said auction, but we've decided we're going to raffle off the final Disney blanket to raise money for Dementia Research UK.
Lucy said she was going to credit me for because I came up with this suggestion.
It was Hugh's idea.
To do the Mike Wazowski eye, not the whole thing.
I had orange wool, and I was like, I need to do a granny square, but I have too much orange wool that I want to get rid of, so I need an orange one. And I was thinking that, and then he said,
what would be a good...
I'd just do a Mike Wazowski. I've already got some orange ideas.
Oh.
I might have them finished by next week.
Well, can people suggest them anyway? I want to know.
Yeah, suggest me some orange ideas.
Any good orange idea? What about... Oh, have you got...
I've started one.
Is it this?
No, I'm going to do that one as well, though.
Okay, right. Can I tell them what that was?
Yep.
I just wrote down orange bird.
I'm really pleased with that, though, because I had to work out how to turn a circle into a square.
Nemo, Emily says. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Nemo, that's the one I've started.
Ah.
I'll show you it next week. With white stripes in it. So, anybody out there who is into crocheting, if you can do this, 15 centimetres by 15 centimetres, and then send us a photo, we will send you our address. We don't want to make the address public, nor do we really want to give it out willy-nilly to people who haven't crocheted.
Everyone knows it's 37 Disney Street, but
we'll send you the postcode.
But yeah.
So if you
when you put your thumbs through those holes, it looks like the horns. For listeners' benefit, I'll tweet this and I'll put it on our Instagram. And if you want to find it, if you're listening to this at a later date, I'll put it under the hashtag 37 Disney Street Granny. Granny.
So I want to know, is there anyone in the chat now who's going to join me in our crochet circle? Because people have been nagging me to organise this for like 2 years, so you better come through now.
What would be the most awkward amount of squares that we could receive to make like 7, like not enough to make a blanket? You know, there'd be like a little L shape at the bottom. You know what I mean?
We need it to be a rectangle number, don't we?
Or square.
Or a square number, yeah.
9.
Yeah.
12. 16.
I know, but 12, it's going to be a very small blanket. We want it to kind of be a big blanket. I think at one time I worked out that 42 would be a minimum that we'd kind of want.
42?
I want people to join in.
Well, what if we get like 4 and you have to do the other 38?
Well, I'm going to do at least kind of like 5, but people who crochet do tend to, like, I knocked that out in an afternoon, and if people want to do this, I bet they can. I bet they can do it. Who's going to join me then?
Do people have to Bagsy though? What if there are repeats?
I don't mind repeats because they're not going to be identical, and I just won't put them next to each other on the blanket when I sew it together. Emma's going to try, but it still hasn't learned how to do it. That's another good thing, you see. Oh, this can be you learning.
Emma said to lose from Aristocats, and you looked at that, didn't you?
Yes, I did, yeah. I thought I might do all 3 Aristocats if I start doing Toulouse. And then, so Katia says, Emma will do loads when she's worked out how to do it. And then if she teaches me, I will do some too. Lisa says, I haven't crocheted before. How long do we have? I might need a while. You've got as long as it takes. As long as it takes, because I'm not going to sew it together till I've got at least 42. So just kind of take your time and send it over. I'm not expecting it to be in the next month or so. Maybe this is going to be an ongoing challenge that goes on for like 4 to 6 months, and then
Bonnie's asking for Woody.
I think I can do Woody. I think I might get quite addicted to this. Because I love Disney bounding. It's the problem solving of Disney bounding and putting certain colours together and shapes together without literally doing things.
No, Lucy didn't do this blanket. We bought it at a vintage fair.
We did.
I was going to point that out because as we start talking, I noticed that we were sat on a crocheted blanket. We got another one in the corner over there. We just like, you know, those old crocheted blankets. They don't keep you very warm, but we just tend to drape them on stuff.
Yeah, we've got a few. We also just, in general, went through a bit of an addictive thing. We're going to furniture fleas, didn't we? And ended up getting loads of stuff. Well, that's exciting. I know Aaron's going to do one for us.
Mm-hmm.
At least one, perhaps.
Yep.
So yeah, this is our Disney Crochet Circle. Tell your friends. We will post this. Maybe we can get some other Disney influencers involved. I wonder if Sam for God crochets. I wonder if Magical by Sarah crochets. These are all friends of the show, by the way. I'm not being presumptuous.
Chat Disney.
Chat Disney, yeah.
Mercedes and Tash.
I wonder if Bob crochets or Pam.
I'm sure Bob can do crochet.
Indeed.
I could learn.
You could, very easily. You're good at stuff like that.
I am. Tiki Cup fans, be interested to know I'm drinking cream soda today, which I don't normally drink, but there we go. That's what's in my tiki cup today. What's in your tiki cup?
I don't have a tiki cup. I've got a scabby old bottle and it's got cherries and berries in it.
I don't know. See, Chris isn't here. Like, the effort just dips, doesn't it? It just dips.
Tanya's saying, can you count the stitches on one side of the squares reference? There's 22 on this, but I've kind of got that baggy edge, and I did start another one and I put 24 on the edge, which is about right for the 15 centimetres. But it depends on what size hook you use. For this, I used DK wool and I used a 3.5 hook. So there are loads of variables. It's a bit of an inexact science. Don't worry if it's not perfect. I'm just going to have to try and make it work in the final sew-up. But as close to 15 by 15 as you can get would be good for me, please.
Bonnie says, wish I could crochet. Could she learn to crochet? Is it easy enough? Is it a bit tricky?
I could certainly... I bet she could learn to do this one. I bet she could learn to do that one. That's fairly...
This is another one she's holding up.
Yeah.
Not the white.
This is your traditional granny square with your triple clusters in.
Are things like Marvel and Star Wars included?
Yes.
Yep.
I would say so. This is Pixar. In fact, because I'm doing this one on Nemo, both of mine are Pixar, aren't they? And I also thought about doing The Incredibles as well. Did you watch that today?
Yeah.
That would be Pixar. Oh, now I'm wondering, should I have been a bit of a purist about it? Nah.
No.
And I think you could do stuff like The Castle. And Orange Bird's a park thing, isn't he? And...
yeah.
Tower of Terror logo, stuff like that would be good. Tigger would be easy.
Trying to think now.
Yeah.
But 37DS.
You've got to work with the mechanics of a granny square as well, because you can't do because it's usually quite symmetrical because of the way that the hook travels around.
Oh, yeah.
And it's usually not just symmetrical, it usually goes. What is it when it's like 4-way symmetry? You know what I mean, don't you?
Right, okay.
Reflected. Right. Okay, that's all I've got to talk about, Huey. We've got 8 minutes left. Does someone want to ask us more questions? Do we want to talk about Davy Crockett Ranch? Pros, cons, best bits?
Davy Crockett.
I'm going to give you a heads up on it. It says 5 minutes to the park, and it is. But it's on one side of motorway/dual carriageway. Don't know what you'd call that. And so on the way there, you spiral down, you get straight to the park, boom. But on the way back, you have to go down the motorway, come off an exit, get back on the other side of the motorway and down to another exit, don't you? So it's actually 15 minutes back. So if you're in a car, it's 5 minutes there, but 15 minutes back, which isn't a problem at all. But it's just worth a heads up because it's a little bit of a false advertising when it says 5 minutes to the park. It is 5 minutes to the park.
It's a little bit of a head mess as well when you're going on a roundabout in the opposite direction to what you're used to.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like a figure of 8, that thing that goes over.
It really is. Lucy, I don't drive, Lucy does, but even, just as an observer, going, getting up to a roundabout and then suddenly you go, you flip it in your mind, but then you go, have I flipped it?
Yeah.
Which way? Is it left or right, left or right, left or right?
It's actually worse when it's quiet. When it's busy, you just do what everybody else does. So you don't really think about it. You just go where all the other cars.
Could you imagine just
but when it's
accidentally
quiet
just going,
and you have to decide which way to go, it's very messy with your brain. Anyway, another thing about I highly recommend the restaurant there. We didn't get to go in the pool at the time just because of time constraints. We wanted to and didn't.
Yeah, and it was winter.
Weren't
interested.
Weren't really feeling it. You can order your breakfast to little shacks because it's in groups of cabins and they have one cabin per group of cabin where you can go and pick up like your breakfast in a paper bag. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, vaguely. So you get like a little continental breakfast in a paper bag. I think you have to order it ahead. This is 2017, like I say, I don't want to give you false information. But what's lovely is we did spread out because it was Christmas. We decorated our cabin for Christmas. We took some fairy lights with us, didn't we, and a little tree.
Little tree.
It was gorgeous.
The elves came with us.
They did.
Elves on shelves.
They knew where we were. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shop is a little bit bigger and it includes more food because it's a self-catering location. You do have more like, they sell stuff like cereal and frozen pizzas and stuff like that, don't they, in the shop?
What was it? Bonnie got a little goofy Western play set.
Yeah.
And I've got her on video. And she'd given him a weird name. Do you remember?
Magnus or something.
It was like Magnus Magnuson or something.
Not the 80s strongman.
I won't find it now.
Yeah. But we really I would consider that again if we were driving again.
I'd like to go in summer because it feels like a quite summery thing to do is going to those cabins in the woods.
We did Village Nature, which of course is next door. This is the thing, is that Village Nature has got a lot to do on site, whereas Davy Crockett's doesn't really, not in the same way. And so if you're staying off site, then you have to decide, and the price is similar. But you can have a wonderful time. If that's where you've booked, you can have a wonderful time.
I seem to recall there was no Wi-Fi when we went. This was years ago, though, like 7 years ago. Well, it will be this year. There was no Wi-Fi in the cabins, was there?
I don't remember.
Because I had to go and sit in the lobby to back up some videos, and we watched The Apprentice final on your phone, on your data, I believe. But I don't know what the Wi-Fi situation is there. But, you know, Wi-Fi is only in the premium cabins. Well, doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Thanks, Emily. Good to know. Yeah, it just occurred to me then. I was just got this memory of going over to the lobby and it taking ages for these videos to back. I was sat in there for like 40 minutes or something, just like feeling a bit awkward. Yeah.
I'm trying to get. I think people are discussing things in the chat, but I think you're answering each other's questions, so we don't need to.
Yeah, they take care of themselves.
Yeah, they do.
It's like AI in the chat. You know, it's learning.
People are said. Somebody asked. Oh, it was Faye. Anyone stayed at the Compass Room in Newport Bay? Worth the extra. We haven't, but Chris, our co-host, has. So next week we will remind him to talk about that. If you queue in again next week, Q is making a note. Compass Club at Newport Bay. MPB.
Chris. Brackets.
We need to book a DLP trip, Huey, don't we? We haven't got one booked at the moment. That's very frustrating.
Yeah.
Oh well. Right.
I'm just thinking of we need some kind of crochet, Davy Crockett crochet thumbnail.
Creating
for this episode. So
you do that.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't have to. Right, okie dokie. Get crocheting, crochet fans, and we will post all the details on our various socials and things like that. And I'm going to keep mentioning it every week, I'm absolutely sure. We've got 2 minutes left. So unless there's anything that you really want to talk about.
Got more than 2 minutes. We started late, don't forget.
Oh, yeah,
We've got 6.5 minutes of pure gold coming at you right now.
Dogs allowed at Davy Crockett Ranch too, which was a shock. It's a shock, but it's the only place on property where they are allowed, and I think that's one of the benefits to a lot of people. And it's a nice place to walk. Having said that, there's no footpath, so is it a nice place to walk? You know, it's all set up for driving straight to your cabin, isn't it?
It's hard to, like, when you stay, like, at Christmas in winter, you don't really go out exploring, do you? You don't go, oh, let's just, you know, go for a nice walk in the evening sun. You just go, get inside, get a blanket on, quick. It was nice and cosy.
It's cosy.
We've got a funny video of me showering Bonnie because I think it's the first time she'd ever had a shower. So
we have a bath.
And she's you know, a little more than a toddler, and I'm like trying to spray her with the shower head, and she's just giggling because it just tickles her. And she's had like one shower since then ever because she just finds it too tickly. Have you ever heard about this? People not having a shower because it's too tickly.
She runs under them at the swimming baths occasionally.
Right.
Occasionally.
No running in the showers.
Well, you know, like ducks under.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting times. Okay, there must be one more thing I'm desperate to talk about. Clarice has been meeting in Videopolis. We do like Clarice. And it's like that Visit Europe thing, so she's all done up like a French lady. Looking all cool.
Who's Clarice?
Clarice is the chipmunk's girlfriend. Female chipmunk.
Oh, right. Do you know, I don't feel so bad. There'll be a few people who didn't know who Clarice is there. I thought, am I missing something? But okay, Clarice. Meeting where?
In Videopolis at the back.
When's this from? Lucy just pulled up a picture and I look quite thin.
2018.
Was I thinner then?
I think so.
Oh, I think I was ill. That's the year I was ill.
Too much details.
But we have, if anyone noticed, I mean, we've put the camera up higher than normal because the background only comes down a certain distance. So we put the camera higher and it's a good angle for chins and things. You know, it's a well-known trick. But actually, we have lost weight.
Well, you more than me.
1.5 stone, baby. Mm-hmm. Purely based on the footage and photographs from our last DLP trip. And I thought, yeah, I've let this go a bit.
I'm getting loads of Disney pictures randomly come up here. This is me and Bonnie Disney bounding as Snow White back in the day. Oh, and then it changed. Oh, I wish it would pause.
We should just do a slideshow for the viewers.
There we go. That's me and Bonnie being Snow White in Autopia. Back in the day with Hugh being, who are you?
Fix-It Felix Jr.
Fix-It Felix Jr.
That was probably my most extensive Disney bound. I had a kind of a denim-coloured open shirt, a white T-shirt that had stenciled Hammer Time on. I had a tiny little golden hammer pin badge, and I had some pixelated shaped glasses, plus jeans and a brown belt.
I'm only sharing that with you because I've got this new iPad and it randomly started to do a slideshow when I hadn't asked it to. So thank you, iPad. And look, that's me being Yellow Belle and Bonnie being Baby Belle.
Baby Belle.
Village Belle. And Hugh being Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah, well, I do have a Sid from Toy Story t-shirt, but in this one I'm just wearing a Punisher t-shirt, so it doubles up. It is a Marvel character, so you can kind of get away with it, but I do actually have a official Sid one now with the actual skull on that he's got. Disney
More
bounding.
Snow White. With the apple. Oh, I love Disney bounding, guys. I recommend Disney bounding.
Emily says, I only learnt today DLP is due a third park. I knew about the new land, but not a third gate. Well, due, but...
It was in their original, what's the word? Like, contract agreement with the French government that they would continue to expand. And this was kind of... That's why they had to build the studios in the early 2000s when they did. It's because they'd pledged to within 10 years open a second gate. And then this third gate was... I don't know the legal terminology, but it was something like with the possibility of a third gate once growth has reached this level or something. Now, at this point, I think it is at the point where it could be viable. However, I think they're dragging the feet. I think they're finding the reasons to not do it. But yes, they could. They have the land and the legalities to do a third gate. But we've got the expansion of the studios. So we know that it won't happen till that's all done and dusted. And that's years away from being finished.
Yeah.
We reckon we've got another 18 months before we get Frozen Land and the lake. And then they've guaranteed that they will do a third land round the lake, which they haven't even started or confirmed yet. So that'll be another 2, 3...
Keep hearing this Lion King rumour for the third land.
All right. I mean,
I'd take it. I'd take that.
Thing is, whatever Disney do, this is the thing with that plaque on the floor, that castle thing we've just done, is that we all have opinions. We can all moan and groan, But hardly ever have Disney done something and I've been like, I don't like it. Wish you hadn't done it. They tend to be quite good in the delivery. Or are you thinking
I don't know. I disagree with that.
they're making Country Bears into IP, aren't they? That's upset you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I just, sometimes I just like the weird, obscure stuff at Disney rather than everything having to be tied to a film. It just makes everything seem a bit juvenile.
Just catching up with the chat. 2036 was the prediction I saw based off the contract. Yeah, that sounds more realistic because it is in there in the contract, but it's also like miles
It'd be
ahead.
great if they just did like an old black and white animation area where they'd have like a Steamboat Willie lake, and I can't think of anything else. But I just like the idea of like a black and white land with a Steamboat Willie boat as a centerpiece. I'm spitballing. I'm going to come up with a better example because we'll discuss this with Chris. I'll write that down as well. It's an idea to discuss the third gate, which we probably have before, haven't we?
Yeah.
Well, we've discussed lands. Have we actually discussed the third gate before?
I think we were all in favour of the Tragic Kingdom, which was a villains-based land.
Yeah, I guess so.
I like what... You see, it's hard not to be swayed by things that other places have done, but like Tokyo doing Disneyland, Disney Sea, Disney Air, Land, Sea, Air. I quite like that for synergy. I want it to have a real hook. That's the thing. Because Universal keep building new parks, but they're all the same, basis, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like Islands of Adventure is the same as Awesome Kingdom or whatever they're calling it. It's just the same thing.
I said before, I just like, it could just be a giant park. I mean, park in the sense of like, the traditional sense of it just being like a big green space, maybe a wooded area. And I've said before, like you could have like a Snow White dwarf cottage in there, and then another, just like just something you can walk around rather than something where you queue in for attractions. Just a big.
That's to do with capacity.
A big thing you can explore.
They need people in queues for capacity.
And I know, but like in an ideal world, this is what I'd like. Like a big green space.
Faye says, do you think it would be another Star Wars? It was originally meant to be another Star Wars.
The third
land was. Third land in the studios.
Not the third gate.
And it was announced and concept art was done. Then they went suspiciously quiet. And now I believe that they've completely moved away from that. Officially.
Yeah, it's gone very quiet.
So I think it's almost certainly not going to be Galaxy's Edge.
We don't know confuse people because we're talking about there's 3 new lands. Oh, there's 2 new lands for definite in the Hollywood Studios. Sorry, Walt Disney Studios, and a third one potentially, but that's not the same as a third gate, which is a whole park potentially being created. So there's lands within a park, but then the third gate would be like a whole new park.
The land within the studios, it could be a non-Galaxy's Edge Star Wars.
I keep saying I want Tatooine, please.
Something like that is possible.
Mos Eisley, I mean.
But we're not getting Galaxy's Edge. I think it's safe to say we're not getting Galaxy's Edge now. I think that has been vetoed several times. And there's this really, really powerful rumour that keeps going around about it being the Pride Lands, which jars me. Because I'm like, well, there's actual ice in Disneyland Paris right now. I'm not sure you can do sub-Saharan Africa. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, we'll just wait and see. I'm really excited for Arendelle. I'm really excited. But I'm excited for the lakes and the nighttime spectaculars that could work there as well. Anyway,
it's time to go.
It's time.
You've got an extra 4 minutes out of us, so I think we should go. Apologies for the
rather janky start.
Yeah, listeners might not know, but we had a failed stream where the orientation was the wrong way around, and we've done this like 3 times now. We think we know why now, but we'll forget again because it's too long in between times, isn't it? That we figure out the answer to this problem. Anyway,
and hey, before you go, just click the thumbs up on this and like it. Chris messaged me to say that we were what did it say we were? Like
Rubbish.
40 away from getting 3,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed,
35?
what are you doing?
Was it 35?
Something like that. So if you're not subscribed, why the heck not? And he wants 5,000 by the end of the year, he's told us. So, yay.
Or else, he added.
Or else. Right, okay, thank you very much for joining us. I've been Lucy, this has been a boy. Bye-bye.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I'll keep waving while you find the off button. Bye.